All right.
All right.
Finally up and running. What's up, everybody?
God damn. Happy New Year.
This is the 4th episode of the Terrible Reception Podcast.
Yes.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year. Where third time's a charm, fourth time is bomb. I don't know.
I don't even know why you started that.
I don't even know, because if you guys saw what we had to go through like 30 minutes ago just to get this going.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. Happy New Year.
Yes.
How was your New Year?
It was cool. It was like, I don't know. It's not what I expected, to be honest. But I tried to bring it in chill.
I think the older we get, the more boring it gets. Like, I don't really look forward to it anymore. It's kind of like just another day. It's like, okay.
Honestly, like if kids are around, like, you know, like cousins or whatever, like the little kids in the family or friends' kids, like I think that's what makes it.
Yeah. But
I'm probably looking forward to the holiday once I have my own family. You know, I think that's the excitement for my kids.
It's more for kids, yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I guess, you know, this is a new year.
Yeah.
Hoping for bigger and better things.
100%.
You know? We're always aiming to elevate ourselves year after year. So, you know, we're hoping for a better year.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll start off by introducing these guys.
Yes.
We finally got the new mics,
Yes.
which is a plus.
It's gonna sound nice. It's
man.
gonna be real good.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good in the headphones already. So, you know, I'm looking forward to listening to it on playback.
So I was right.
Yeah, I mean, you're never wrong. You're never wrong. But yeah. So we got the new mics. So the audio quality should be
Tip top.
elevated.
Yes. Already, like, I'm looking on Pro Tools because we're recording live into Pro Tools and the waveforms.
Yeah. So, you know, you may not hear our buddy, the Angry Train.
You never know.
Speaking of the Angry Train, I had a request to change the name of the Angry Train.
From Angry Train or Boris?
From Boris to Karen.
Okay.
And I guess it applies to
It
certain
definitely
situations,
There we go.
especially in your life.
Perfect.
I'm not going to say why it was requested, but the person that requested it will know why.
It still comes from a third world country.
Yeah. So Karen is an Angry Train.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I guess we'll start off by, should we plug everything at the beginning of the show or the end of the show? I haven't figured that out
Let's
quite
plug
yet.
it in now.
So I want to emphasize how important it is for you guys to go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, follow us on both. Even if you use one or the other.
Yes.
And also on YouTube, just subscribe. Even if you don't watch it on YouTube, leave a comment. Again, even if you don't watch it on YouTube, just to give us those numbers that look good in front of everybody else, you know, because we live in a world where you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the numbers, nobody gives a crap about you. So
it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And it was evident when I went to a school a couple weeks ago. Shout out to Lauren. Yes. I did a presentation at a school, you know, just telling them basically of what we do, how we've done it, and all this stuff, kind of just to motivate them to follow their own dreams and stuff. So, and I found it evident when this one particular kid, like before I even did my in the middle of my introductions, he cut me off maybe 2 or 3 times, right?
Okay.
And some of these kids are special needs, so they have that social awkwardness to them and stuff like that. So, and some of them are super out there and stuff. So I was doing my introductions. Hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. I do this, and that. And the kid goes, "Are you famous?" And I'm like, I guess. I'm in my inner circle. I'm pretty popular because of what I do. A lot of people know me. And then he goes, "If you're famous, how many Instagram followers do you have?" And I'm like, you know, the group, I can't give you a right number, but we have a little over 11,000. Yeah. Are you verified? I'm like, no. We're verified on Facebook, though.
It makes you feel like a job interview where you're like failing. Like at a certain point, you're like, oh, I had this. And it's like, are you verified?
And it's crazy because while I was doing all that and I was giving him all these, no, I'm not verified, and no, we're not this, no, we're not that, you see the energy go from up here to down here, you know? And then it goes on to the YouTube. How many subscribers do you have? I'm like, a little under 800. Oh, okay. How many subscribers do you have? And I'm like, this kid. Yeah. So And then shortly after that, he kind of just bolted, which is kind of a shame and kind of expected these days, you know, because
Questions to our followers. What, from your personal view, makes it that somebody is more official or less official because of this check or the verification or the followers? Like, maybe you guys can give us insight, because the thing is too, what I'm noticing is that, who was it? It's kind of like I see the owners of like talent agencies or huge modeling agencies like Wilhelmina, Ford, all these things. Like, the owner of it might have 2,000 to 7,000 followers at most. This person, you know, is well off. They're the ones who make sure the company is being ran. Like, they're probably in charge of a lot of things, but they don't have as much recognition as the forefront. So for me, it's like, when you probably want to get in contact with that guy, you're going to something else that's, you know, kind of like that it's like you're going to the secretary when you could go to the core, but people not going to the core because they're like, this page doesn't entice me, you know what I'm saying? Or like, there'll be really talented photographers, musicians, and like, they'll be dope as hell, but like, nobody's gonna tune into them because of that assumption that they're not official. Because
I guess it's just the validation piece, because I feel like if you have that blue check wherever you go, you're validated by the Instagram gods. I guess you're knighted by the Instagram gods, like, this guy's official.
But I see it in the fashion business a lot. I think they correlate, where it's kind of like, they did recently I saw Payless. They like set up something where Payless looked more like Barney's, and they were selling the same shoes that they always do.
They did like a little pop-up shop or something.
People were paying $600 for a $20 shoe, just because of
it's the hype beast, man.
Yeah, man.
The hype beasts make everything so much more like either official or corny to me. 9 times out of 10 is super corny to me. So it's just the world we live in, and as much as I hate it, we kind of just gotta adapt to it, and kind of just put up our smoke and mirrors like we always do.
It's weird though. We live in a world of like, okay, fake it till you make it, but then also people like, you real? Are you real? You really about that life? And like, they want this transparency. So it's like, what the hell do you want? Like for me, it's like, we have to, like, who sets the standard of like, these, all you guys are gonna like go through this bullshit, versus who's setting the standard of like, yo, this should be the wave on how people should eat. This is the wave of how we should live. We should be transparent. We should be real. They're telling you one thing, and then it's like, you get to the industry and it's like, yo, the more we fake about it, like, the better off we are. And it's like, that's why I think there's a lot of confusion, or like, people can't be themselves. And that's why like, people love these text messaging, because you can think out what you're gonna write before you hit somebody up. Am I just like, do you feel the same, or like?
Yeah, in a sense. It's just the way you think about it at the end of the day. Because, like I said, we can sit here and groan and moan about it all the time and just cry about it, but I mean, what really can we do? It's just the world we live in right now. We might as well just adjust, or just, like I said, cry about it all day and do nothing about it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, do you think it's the underdog that can set the standard? Or do you think it's always the top dog that has to run the show?
I don't know. I mean, these days it's always just super random, to be honest with you. Like, you'll see a little trend or a fad that started by the most random thing, because we have social media, and social media can make anything go viral at any moment. You know 100%. What I mean? It just, whatever catches fire at that moment in time. You know,
I always think about that. I'm like, damn, like, what if we have a podcast episode and like something you say or something I do is just so ridiculous, but then you just get caught in that moment of like, that's who you are, and it's like, oh my God.
And that's the thing that I'm afraid of.
I've worked to be perceived. Like, again, that's what we talked about the last podcast. You work to be perceived a certain way your whole life. And then that one instance, it's like, yo, you're the cornball kid. And you're like, really?
That's kind of like that movie, the one that Kyle's in. Did you see it?
Yeah. I actually just watched that recently.
Where he became Netflix, the seizure kid.
Yeah.
Wait, he's like the super dope rapper that has all these flows, has all these concepts for songs, and
He
then he has a
eventually made
seizure
it.
on stage.
Yeah, he eventually made it because I think they were persistent.
Yeah,
But
and then he goes viral because, for whoever hasn't seen it, he becomes viral because he has a seizure on stage because he smoked too much weed with Wiz Khalifa. But then he fights through that, and I feel like that's what I mean, hopefully that never happens to us, but if for whatever reason you go viral, you have to capitalize on it,
No,
whatever it is that
100%.
you do with it. You know what I mean? Because all these Instagram celebrities become popular for whatever they do, whatever they're doing at the moment. They go viral, everybody knows who they are, and then what they do from there moving forward is what's gonna determine what they do with their life.
True.
Like,
And it's so fast paced at the end of the day. By the time you're known for what you do, somebody else is already on to the next thing.
Yeah, man. So I don't know how we got into that topic, but how did we get into that topic? Oh, I was talking about like that presentation that I did.
Yeah.
I don't know what my point was for that, but
Basically, the kid was more impressed on how many followers
numbers
you
and
have
stuff,
rather
yeah.
than how you actually
because I was
execute.
plugging us. There we go. So, the numbers got to get up there, guys.
Yeah.
So, we get in front of other people's eyes. We'll pop up in recommendations and stuff like that. So, we want to get in front of more people. And
I
what
feel
else?
like I'm gonna sound aggy today,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Maybe it's because it's one of those things where like I feel like I'm gonna go on my rant
Mhm.
because while you were doing that day, I was shooting. Shout outs to Ty or Terrell.
Mhm.
So we go way back, but he had really looked me out on a situation. He is the main guy. If you guys ever watch Sway's Universe, he does the filming for that. So long story short, Sway, awesome guy. Awesome guy. They had other celebrities and producers on there, and I was definitely humbled to be part of the situation and all that. But I kind of look back on our career, and I look back on my approach to things, and a lot of times I'm in situations where I'm either videographer or photographer to get into the music game, because again, we're trying to chase that dream, that career. But long story short, I find that whether it's social media or in person or follow-ups, no matter how much you network, or it's maybe how you network or how you have to find your way or your position in this game, I feel that networking, or maybe it's always been like that, it's disappointing because I feel like a lot of people shut other people down for the same fact that maybe you don't have a following, or maybe this or that. Like, I don't feel like it's always kind of been like that, where it's like the more persistent you are, the better off you are as a businessman or a business, because passion and talent, unfortunately, are not respected. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be talented as hell, but I feel like the person that, and you mentioned this too, because you said like it gets on your nerves that you see people that don't have the humility get far because they're almost like, they get like they're almost arrogant. Oh my God, hold on 1 second. That's funny that's in there. But I said, like, it's one of those situations where I feel like arrogance or like negativity is responded to by celebrities a lot more quickly than somebody being like, yo, I love you. And then you just get if you're lucky, you get like a heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a pretty good support system. And I noticed, I was like, you know what? I'm going to positively take advantage of that the other day. And we reached out to an artist, and I was like, yo, if you guys could like tag me or whatever, like reach out. And people were saying the most sincere stuff. They're like, yo, make it happen for the culture and this, like that. And I had two perspectives on it, because we spoke about this. Like, we went out to eat again, Chipotle. Shout out Chipotle. If you guys want to sponsor us, let me know. But
We need that code.
We need that
discount code.
But it's one of those situations where it's like, I feel like somebody disrespected the hell out of this person I look up to, right? And that person, that celebrity, responded to them like this.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And then for me, I'm like, yo, we can do something that would be epic, right? I reached out to several ways. I reached out to management through DM and phone number, through email and everything. Nobody acknowledged that they even received this and said no. Nobody acknowledged that they received anything. And you know, it's like, okay, if that many people, if like 75 to 100 people are commenting on a post, you're getting some type.
You're seeing it.
You're seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So, you've seen artists or bigger acts see less. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why I'm like, I feel like when you're positive, there's like no maybe this is just my experience too. Let me know if you're artists out there, a creative, or whoever you are, even if you sell milk door to door. I want to know your situation. Maybe, maybe it's like new almond milk. They're like, you want almond milk door to door? But I'm just saying, like, is this just my situation, or you think everybody goes through it where it's like, again, I see somebody respond to negativity a lot quicker than they do positivity, and then that takes away like your ambition sometimes as someone who networks, because it's like you're literally being upfront with people. You're asking for opportunity. You're not asking for a handout. Many times I said, I will work for free. I will do this job. You can test me out. But they don't even give you that chance.
No. And I mean, I feel like that just, it's a reflection of who that person is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And also the people that they run into.
But if they're successful, right?
Yeah.
What else does that say? Did they get it just by being selfish?
Maybe. Never know.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, how are you supposed to, I don't know. That's something that always, it seems like polar opposites. You're successful, or maybe you're just like, we also discussed this. Maybe they just want to see that ambitious person take the same route they had to take to see how good they are. Like, why should I believe you're the best? Are you going to make it into the same room I am? You know what I'm saying? Type of deal.
Or maybe, I feel like it's because I was reading an article the other day about some, I think it was one of those Humans of New York Instagram pages. I don't know if you ever seen that photographer that takes pictures of random people and then he gets their stories.
Yes.
There was this one particular person that was talking about he was a med student and how he's getting like buried into the ground basically with work and all this kind of stuff, and the expectations of doctors, and by the time they get to a position where they're making some kind of money or they're getting to where they want to be, they're like drained and they don't even care. And these are very important people that are taking care of other people, you know what I mean, life and death situations. So I feel like, and then that
you see that in your own work,
and then those certain people get mistreated by the people that make it up there because they feel like, okay, I've been through this, so now you have to go through this to get to where I am.
Gotcha.
So maybe that's a mentality like that, like, okay, I did it on my own, or however I did it, because we always ask, like, we watch all these people's like background stories, but nobody ever tells you what's the secret sauce of what was that
there's
thing.
That one thing,
yeah,
you know
what was it? And nobody ever says it, but there's always some kind of link. And
or maybe it sparked, just like me right now, it sparked that question. So then you want to just work harder. And then it's like, okay, that little bit of, oh, you gonna ignore me? Oh, watch.
That's exactly where I was gonna go with that, because we're in a day and age where it's like we have accessibility to all these things, which is like a gift and a curse. Because now the oversaturation is even oversaturated even more.
100%.
So you being recognized by somebody else, it's 100 times harder, because there's people in people's inboxes like, yo, check out my mixtape. Oh, hey, check out my photography, and they're all trash. And I'm not saying that we're the best at what we do, but we are really good at what we do. You know what I mean? So it's discouraging. Like everything else we go through, but it's just a matter of like pushing through. And
I see the DJ Khaled's and stuff like that. Like I saw a picture of him. Who was it next to recently? I think it was like, was it Big Daddy Kane? I don't know. It was somebody highly respectable in the hip hop community, and he was right next to him, and it's like he was like 16, right? So I don't know how old Khaled is now. I know maybe he's like at least mid-30s up to 40s or something, that range, right? So he's been in it for a minute, and you know, I guess it's that one person that says, all right, you know what, we seen you pay your dues, this and that, and that's it. That's why I think for everybody that's listening, persistence is key, longevity is key. You know, sometimes like at that one point where you think you're gonna break, is like your master is watching you, because there's always people watching too. You know what I'm saying? If your name is out there in some way, somebody's gonna check in at least once in a while. So now they're just like, all right, how long you gonna last? You really about this? Because it's like if they see anything that can make us break, or as individuals or this or that, they're gonna say, you know what?
They're gonna pass.
You're not equipped for this. You're not equipped. So
yeah. So I guess that's a good segue to, let's talk about New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
I know it's very generic and very cliche for like a radio show or a podcast to talk about New Year's resolutions, but I'm curious to see what you think or what you want to improve on or what you want to do as a person individually and for the business.
Okay. I'm always in a state of self-reflection for sure. Thinking that I'm not good enough, even when people encourage you or compliment your work, is a great thing. Sometimes I don't try to be overly hard on myself till it's the point of destructive. But, you know, I look at my videos as a whole, I look at my photography as a whole, and I listen to our music as a whole. And sometimes I feel that we could be a little more meticulous in making sure all the details, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and things like that, where if you have an asshole come around and poke at it and be like, oh, is that well structured? You know, is it gonna fall apart? And they keep pointing at it like that.
I thought you were talking about like an actual butthole.
No,
Because you're always talking about butts and shit coming out of it.
Listen.
Now we're talking about an asshole pointing at you.
No, I'm just listen. You took it to another level. No, but like that's how I honestly feel. Like I feel that whoever wants to come and test what I do, what you do, what we do, I don't want to give them any opening to, you know, push over the structure we've built. You know what I'm saying? So art is always open to interpretation. We know that. But at the same time, I always want us to look back and be like, that's still popping even now. This still connects with me. This makes you feel a certain type of way. And I always have this certain element or essence I've been trying to capture through video, through music, everything else. And I feel like I haven't reached that yet. I think it's a hunger that keeps me going. But even going into this year, I said my videos could be way better. You know, my photography, I haven't even done it in a while because I don't think I've been as inspired or motivated. I was like, sometimes I get overwhelmed by doing too many different things at the same time. So that's why when you approach me and you're like, let's work on project number 2 musically, I was like, wow, this is the perfect time, because I felt like everything else has been given so much intensity, magnitude, and concentration on my end with the videos and the photography that I need to switch it up and let those batteries reload while I output all these frustrations, these great moments into the music. And like that's why like I love the balance of all of our outlets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. And before I get into mine, I wanted to say that I'm very proud of us.
Yeah, man.
Because at the top of last year, we had set a couple goals for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we set realistic goals that we wanted to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
during 2018. And I feel like we did a very, very good job of accomplishing all the goals that we have set.
Oh yeah.
I think we may have fallen short maybe one music video, because I
Yes.
think we were aiming for what, 3,
I think so. Yeah.
and we did 2 instead.
Yeah.
And then the last video wasn't our, I don't want to say that it wasn't our fault, but we had a certain situation set up, and unfortunately it fell through because of
Mhm.
the other pieces that we were depending on. So
Yeah.
that just adds to the frustration, because I feel like, and that, that's another reason why we do everything ourselves, because we can't depend on other people.
Yeah.
Because we had planned this for how long? Like 2-3 weeks. We were ready to go, and then the day before, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Like literally right before we were going to go to bed, we were literally talking about this. Like, yo, we're ready for this music video. I'm so excited. We're gonna
Everything.
bang this out all in one day, and then all of a sudden, it goes to shit.
Yeah.
So we fell short on that goal, but we did do 2 music videos. We started the podcast, which was something that we've been talking about for a little while.
Yeah.
But we never actually set it as a goal. But we set it as a goal, like a short-term goal, and we accomplished it like this.
'Cause, I mean, even between episode 1 to now,
Mm-hmm.
I think like again, even the minor evolution in that is
Mm-hmm.
like something. I think we both see each other's. I think as business partners, the beauty of our situation is that we always see each other's horizons or prospects. Like
Mhm.
we see where something could be, and that encouragement and confidence within each other to accomplish that
Mm-hmm.
is what keeps us moving.
Exactly. So, and in that, we accomplished those particular goals,
Mm-hmm.
and then we dropped the project that we've always wanted to. We wanted to drop a project for what? 3 years?
Yeah. And even
Since
if
we were
even though
going
it wasn't the
do it.
project that we thought we were gonna drop,
Mm-hmm.
because again, another disheartening, discouraging type of situation where everything was built.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine doing a whole project, like
Yeah.
a whole album, and then it's like clean slate because the situation brings it to
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Because someone outside of us,
Yeah. Because of someone outside of us. So
which is even more frustrating, because I hate that shit.
yeah, because then you're like, I took time to give another human being a chance to show their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's just like, because even looking back at it, it was on honesty on our end.
Mm-hmm.
We stuck to our side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you keep going through situations like that, yes, again, it's disheartening, it's discouraging, but at the same time, out of all the ashes always rises a phoenix. And I feel that us just giving ourselves a clean slate, I don't know if the world's ever going to hear that project or joints from that project, which were very dope,
Mm-hmm.
very dope. But I feel that from those experiences, you get a new outlook or a new vibe as a person. And I think that what's cool about the project that we're going to put together next is just a whole nother feeling. It's a whole, like,
Mhm.
that's what I love about our music. We're never cornered in to a specific sound.
Mhm.
And with this one, I think both where you and I come from as, people who appreciate music and all that, it's just going to be dope.
Mhm.
Because we're learning more and more of our craft at the
Yep.
same time.
Mhm. So, and I guess that's a good way for me to say that for this year, I want to do more content.
Yeah.
More videos, more podcasts, more music, most importantly, and just have fun along the way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I feel like last year we had such a tough time, like, balancing ourselves with everything that we do,
Yeah.
that we kind of got lost in the sauce,
Gotcha.
and it got a little frustrating at times. So I want to take this year to be a little more organized,
100%.
and I want to make a little more effort in meeting up, because I felt like once or twice a week we got a lot done. But I feel like maybe if I come 3 times a week, we can take each day to accomplish a certain thing that we're trying to accomplish that week. And it's just
Sometimes you got to turn on the afterburner to get ahead further. It's kind of like a jet craft.
yeah, man. So, professionally, I just want to be able to put out more content, and gain more supporters. You know what I mean, in the process. And like I said, just have more fun with it. And personally, just more self-care, because I feel like I do a pretty good job at self-care, but I feel like I work so hard at everything that I do that I kind of just lose myself. Because I want to accomplish certain things. I can't stop something midway. I always want to finish through it. Like, let's say I start editing the video, the podcast video at 10 o'clock at night. I'm up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because I want to get as far as I can possibly get it without, you know, me falling asleep on the laptop. You know what I mean? Because I want to get the content done, bang it out, put it out.
I'm with you there on the self-care.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's maybe taking day trips somewhere, just relaxing, or just winding down a couple days. And, you know, it's just, and at the same time, our brains, I feel like they're wired to not stop working. So even when we're relaxing somewhere, we're still thinking. The gears are still turning. Yeah. But
and that's how it is. Like, I think even like Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, they took days to literally just play music. But I know at the same time they have those gears turning of like, oh, that'd be dope to incorporate that into what we're doing and this and this and this. So when you're on the journey, I think again the journey, that's why the journey is the best part, because it's like,
there's our boy. Well, our girl.
Yes.
The Angry Train. I don't know if you guys gonna hear it because of the new microphones and everything, but he's still making appearances. Well, she's still making appearances. No gender.
I think it's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. So.
But
oh, and he's extra loud today.
Speaking of Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, fun fact: I found out that these mics, the Shure SM7B, that you see everybody use on radio and stuff, Thriller was recorded on these.
Was it?
Yes.
Interesting.
This microphone was used for the whole Thriller project. But yeah, self-care is super important. I think that I feel there is a lot of repetition in my life. It's shoot video, edit photo, deal with client, go get the same food, go to the same places every day. And for me, everybody thinks that you end up living this dope ass life because you do what you love to do, and that is half of it. But on the other end, they don't see that I'm going to Chipotle every other day because I think that's
in the budget.
That's in the budget. That's like a healthier food to sometimes go with. I go to Whole Foods all the time. I go to like local little businesses and restaurants, but like it's great because the beauty of it, you build these relationships. You go in, they're like, "Oh, you want that again?" I'm like, "Yep." I don't even have to say anything, but at the same time, I'm like, "Holy crap!"
It's like sad and like
yeah,
happy at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah, he knows my order, but damn.
Yeah, and sometimes like your only escape is through these music videos because maybe like the client book like a dope hotel or like you're at a dope thing or you're meeting new faces. That's nice. But at the same time, like I know there's more to this world than New Jersey. There's more to the world than this room to record in. You know what I'm saying? And like we're giving the world insight and content, but that's also to a limit if you're not experiencing life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like the podcast will end because we don't have any more experiences because we've been in here so much. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think that when you have stories, when you live your life, when you take breaks, even if you sleep and you have a dope dream, you have more to speak about sometimes than rather just evolving, like literally submerging yourself in all this work and all this. Like you can love what you do, and I love what I do, but at the same time, man, you need a break. You need a break.
Completely off topic, but you just mentioned dreaming, right?
Yeah.
Am I the only? Have you ever gotten in this situation where you wake up from a dream, right? It's either traumatizing or really like exciting, but the more you try to think about it, the more you forget about it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've been in those situations, but I feel like what really surprised me about my dreams is that they're so vivid. I think sometimes either I don't dream at all, or when I do dream, it's like
that sounds so sad.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I don't dream at all.
I don't dream at all sometimes, but other times I do dream and they're vivid as hell. Or I wake up from a dream. Maybe you've had this as well. You wake up from a dream, you go back to sleep, and then there's part 2. Or there's
that never happens to me.
Or
unless it's a really bad dream.
Yeah, or there's 3 days in between. I'm like, oh, here's the sequel. It's like a Star Wars flick. You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, episode 1 was okay. Episode 2 is about to turn up. You know what I'm saying?
Mine is always like the weirdest thing is that like if it's a really good dream and I'm excited to tell somebody about it, and I have to either like drill it in my head and remember it as I wake up. Yeah. Because if I don't, like I said, the harder I think about remembering it, the more it just like disappears.
No, 100%.
And then when it comes to like nightmares are the ones that I wake up, let's say go get a drink of water or something like that, take a deep breath, like, damn, that was crazy. And then go right back into the same exact dream. No. Like you could be falling from a cliff and then you wake up in that panic. You're like, oh my God, thank God it was just a dream. Get your drink of water, come back. You're falling from that same exact location you left off at.
I think one of our recorders on top stop. I'm not sure.
Please hold.
Please hold.
Yeah, turn it off. It's recording.
All right, cool. I was just checking on that.
Shit,
sir.
The struggles. Okay. So
the
that brings me to my next question. Somebody asked us, how do we get through the trials of being independent artists and the frustrations of it? And this is
I think that's a present question. I mean a present answer, because it's like I don't think we do. It's a forever changing lock. You think you get the key and it's like, nope, switched up on you, and you're like,
And that's a perfect way to put it, because I was gonna say you have to adapt. Yeah. Because not every situation is gonna be the same. No. Like for example, we're here shooting and we shoot everything ourselves. Hate to say that every episode, but we do, and it gets frustrating because we're setting up like half hour before we start recording. Yeah. And then we run into an issue, and it's like we have to adapt to the issue. Like, how are we going to figure this out? Okay, let's put our brains together. Let's figure this 100%. Out. Or I'll set something up while you're figuring that out. Or I'm going through my notes while you're figuring that out. And
speaking of, I wanted to get our audience familiar with the breakdown of the different segments we're going to incorporate. I think either like you guys give us your input on if you think we should go with all of these, or there's something else you'd rather hear. But do you have those notes on you?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay.
We want to separate the podcast more organized. Yeah. We still want to have the free flowing conversations, obviously, but we also want to do little segments. Where the one is kind of talking about technology. We want to name it Tech Talk. Yeah. Where I think you're taking the lead on this one, right?
Yeah,
where
I'd be
find whatever, I don't know what tool we have in our arsenal that we could talk about that particular week. Yeah. Or what's popping right now in the tech universe and stuff like that. True. So that way you guys can get familiar with it.
And I know we spoke about it for like the past 3 podcasts that we will be introducing exactly what we use, but we want to set it up in a way, 1, where it's attractive to the audience, 2, where it's worth your time, and 3, there's other business aspects that we want to hold down, where I think we're going to be creating Amazon affiliate links. So, you guys can support us by supporting,
particular brand or whatever.
The particular brand. So if we're talking about the item, we'll have a link below where, we get a percentage off of the purchase. Not that you're giving us your money, you're just buying it for regular price, but they give us a
like
cut.
A referral cut or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think the most important thing, because we've talked about breaking down like the concept of the videos and what we use to shoot the videos and stuff like that, and I think the most challenging part of that for us was the presentation piece. Like we've watched dozens of YouTube videos of how people break down certain videos or reaction videos and how they do it and what we can do to incorporate it into ours and how we can make it better.
Exactly.
So I think we figured out how we're going to do that. It's just a matter of finding the time and space to do it. Because, we have a space that's great for us for what we're doing right now. But for what we want to do for that particular segment or that particular video, breaking down the music videos or whatever, we want a bigger space.
So we have Tech Talk,
So we have tech talk, and
The
then we have
breakdown.
the pop culture.
Pop culture.
Yeah,
The
poppies
poppies poppin'
pop
pop culture. So that's what we were gonna name it.
Yeah, as corny as that sounds, whatever, we're running with it.
We're
So
running with it.
you know that I'm taking the lead on that one, where you know I'll speak on whatever is popping that particular week.
Yeah.
Whether it be a movie, a song, I don't know, something going on in the industry that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Haven't
Bird
gotten
Box?
to it yet.
Yeah, super overhyped.
Gotcha.
I got ripped in my DMs the other day by a few people that are like,
Damn.
"Oh my god, that's the best movie ever," and you gave it a 7.
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's weird. You know, that's all hype. The hype beasts out there, man.
Sandra Bullock has always been in one of those movies that get a lot of hype, and it's depending on the person. It's either you love it
Mm-hmm.
or you hate it.
Mm-hmm. The thing with me is hype kills it for me. And I
Yeah.
mentioned it in one of the reviews that I wrote before I got ripped, was when a movie is overhyped,
Mm-hmm.
when I actually get the time to go watch it,
Yeah.
it's in a hole for me already. So it's digging
Gotcha.
itself out of a hole. So I'm like, okay, it's overhyped, so it's probably trash.
Gotcha.
Or I have these high expectations of this movie because of all this hype that everybody's talking about. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, but I went in there with no expectations or whatever. And I mean, as an avid moviegoer, I look for certain things that the average moviegoer doesn't look for. You know what I mean? So it's like a couple plot holes that I was, you know, not happy with. You know, and there's just a couple things in the story that was kind of blah, which I kind of understand because it looks like they're setting up for a sequel, but whatever. And you know, I gave it a 7, which isn't bad.
I just
You
want
know?
Stranger Things to come back.
Stranger Things is the shit.
Right?
Yeah. But even with things like that, it's like I always have to watch it as quickly as possible before everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing ever," and before I can make my own judgment about it. Same thing with Get Out.
Yeah.
I feel like once I got to Get Out, I feel like it was so overhyped that when I watched it, I was like, it was cool.
Gotcha.
It was good. But it
Oh,
wasn't.
this is I know this is bad random, but as it's in my head, I wanted to ask you on this podcast, because it was the holidays. I was like getting a lot of people what they love.
Mhm.
They were getting me what I love, and I want to ask you, since it's kind of like the Christmas present I gave you, but I want to ask you, what are your favorite fashion designers? Who are your favorite fashion designers? What do you like in fashion? You know, like, why is it that you are attracted to a certain aesthetic?
I can't give you a particular designer because I'm not into fashion the way you are.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So I
saying,
can't
but
give
like
you
in
an actual
general,
name,
like
but I like, what do I like in fashion? I like the laid backness of certain things.
Mhm. Who would you look to for like a fashion idea? Like, do you look to a certain artist, or do you look to a certain actor or actress? Not an actress, but I'm just saying, like, do you look to a certain person?
Not really.
Okay.
I kind of just go with whatever I feel feels right
Okay.
at that particular moment. I'm not really like the taking risks fashion wise. I'm pretty laid back with my style. It's just if I could wear a hoodie and a long bomber jacket and either joggers or jeans with like my favorite sneakers at that particular moment, I'm good.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
periodically I'll see little pieces here and there that I'm like, yo, that's super dope, but that's not good for my pockets type of thing. And I remember one piece that you sold to me, the Fear of God sweater. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Which is one piece that I really loved, but now looking at it, I was like super impractical
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm like, it's a hoodie with no sleeves.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, the material's super dope. It's super thick, super warm, but then my sleeves are really cool. And
That's where you
cold.
like layer it up. You get a thermal
But that's what I'm
under
saying.
it.
I would wear this jacket,
Yeah.
and then I wear this jacket,
Yeah.
and then my arms are sweaty,
Gotcha.
which is kind of annoying. But I love the sweater.
Yeah. I mean, fashion, like, for me, fashion is not always practical. It's not
Mhm.
always comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, you're like, damn.
That's the word I was looking for. Comfort.
Gotcha.
That's my main thing.
Comfort.
If I'm uncomfortable in something, I don't want to wear it.
So all right. So from that aspect, right, let me put you on a couple brands, right? And maybe, the viewers too. So if you love comfort, right? You love practicality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm wearing right now is by John Elliott. John Elliott.
See, I was gonna mention him, but I was gonna call him Jake Elliott. See how much I'm into that shit.
So John Elliott, I feel he's like a LA based designer, right? And he makes I would say a lot of active wear in the sense of joggers, sweatshirts, crew necks.
I've seen some of his stuff when you look it up. I remember one particular jacket that I really liked, but it was just gonna hit my pockets a little too much.
John Elliott can be expensive, but the way, first of all, it's thick material. It's great quality material, and it'll last you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for comfort and convenience, but you're going to pay a little extra, these aren't going to fall apart on you. You know what I'm saying? All John Elliott, super comfortable. Thank you.
Today, Junior.
Today. But yeah, it's really good. A lot of French terry cloth on the inside.
French terry cloth. That
Telling you, man.
Fancy as hell.
That's
I remember Cam said that in the rhyme.
French terry cloth. So when you
terry cloth, that means you very soft.
That's very soft. That's what I'm saying. It's comfortable. So you dripping. You know what I'm saying? You dripping when you wear it. But also I think I see a lot of people, like one of my favorite designers.
Let me guess. Jerry?
No. Jerry took from my favorite designer. That's why I also like Jerry. Angry Train agrees.
He's angry.
I like Jerry because he also was inspired.
Virgil?
No, not Virgil. Some people don't ever get the idea.
Turn your phone off, man.
I'm trying, though, but the thing is, it comes through my phone. Like it's turned on.
Oh, it comes through the computer.
Yeah, that's why we hear it.
Technology. Okay, you just mentioned John Elliott.
Should I give you initials?
Yeah.
R.O.
Rick Owens.
There we go.
I should have known that.
Rick Owens is my favorite designer. One, because I love the values that he lives by. He says that most of the time you should take care of yourself as a human being, like you should work out and stuff, because the human wears the clothes don't wear the human. And he's like, if you take care of yourself, like literally the clothes that I've designed fall onto the human the way they should. Like if you're right,
you can't be fat to wear his stuff.
No, not exactly, because he's had people of, I think what I respect about Rick Owens too, he's had people of all different skin colors, all different shapes, and he proved that anybody can wear his clothing. But he said, on a different aspect, he's basically like, you have to be you and you have to be comfortable within yourself, because that when the clothes are laid on you, people will recognize that you're good with yourself rather than you're just wearing the clothes to like show off or not be yourself. And I think that's dope. Like he has so many different aspects to his designs. Like he's a very enlightened person, but he also like has a very dark feel. So people sometimes call it urban goth. And like, but anything he's made, one, it's comfortable as hell. Two, like when you're wearing Rick Owens, like it just stands out like a sore thumb of like, okay, if you see Tiana Taylor on her page, she's always rocking Rick Owens, or like certain other celebrities. I even saw who's the gentleman that played Sherlock Holmes in Sherlock Holmes. He was the
not Robert Downey Jr., my man.
No, I'm gonna show you a picture.
Tony Stark.
No, not Robert Downey Jr. Who else was in there?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, but who was
Strange?
No, I'm gonna show you right now. He was wearing Rick Owens, but like that. What I'm saying is like when you wear like Rick Owens, it's funny that you're wearing Rick
Jude Law.
Jude Law. So right here,
he was Watson.
Yeah,
Sherlock Holmes.
Jude Law is like he's rocking Rick Owens, and you can still tell he's rocking. Like it's just such a dope aesthetic, dope
Jude Law's
vibe.
like that British dad.
Yeah. But no, I just wanted to get in that conversation because like I'm obsessed with fashion, and
Yeah.
people watching, maybe you love
Mhm.
fashion too, but I
Mhm.
think it's a very important thing because fashion, before opening your mouth, expresses who you are
Yeah.
or something
I'm
about
more
you.
into shoes and sneakers, to be
Gotcha.
honest.
So Jay's basically said he's a hype beast.
No.
Okay.
I'm like in between. I'm not like a sneakerhead per se, but I love sneakers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll
No, I definitely know that.
I'll look at a pair for a really long time before I get them, but I'm watching them like right before they drop.
Side
you know?
silhouettes are something that attracts me the most about a
Mhm.
sneaker. You know what I'm saying? Like if it looks something almost out of like a anime
Mm-hmm.
from the side, I'm about it.
Like some Metal Gear Solid shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came into mind, but yeah, I mean, I've never been huge on fashion.
Gotcha.
I'm more about comfort. I try to wear more of our stuff than anything
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like walking billboards and stuff. But layering, I love layering. I love long jackets. Long jackets always get compliments and stuff, and they're comfortable too.
Mhm.
They keep you warm from head to like mid calf.
Yeah. I remember when you
So-
bought that very regal, similar green, almost like
Mhm.
a dark
That
forest
peacoat?
green. Yeah, that's a
That
nice
thing
one.
is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to find it. I was looking
But
at
see,
the
when
closet coat.
When you wear it, don't you
Coat
feel
closet.
like different?
Oh yeah.
There's something about it. Like that's what I think fashion, the beauty of fashion, you can wear something and it could take, like, if you were feeling halfway confident about something, it just like boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. I was wearing that one day. So just to give a little picture of what it looks exactly like this color,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more like a cloth material. So it's like a peacoat, basically a
Yeah.
long peacoat. It goes down almost to my ankles,
Wow.
like 3/4 of the way down my leg, and it has the big buttons,
Mm-hmm.
the big regal buttons, and it has like maybe like 6 buttons, and then it closes up this way. And I was wearing it one day, and I had like one of those man bags,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
satchel. And so, some older lady, she's like this Italian lady. She was like, "You look like you came out of World War II."
Oh my god.
And the thing that I automatically thought about was like Call of Duty, like
And then you know what? You're like instant purchase.
yeah, person straight out of Call of Duty with my jacket and shit. So yeah, man. So I wanted to bring something up
Okay.
and see what your thoughts are about it.
100%.
PC culture, which is political correctness culture. Right?
Okay. I thought I had to be like, oh no, I own a Mac.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I love
Political,
PCs.
political correctness culture, PC culture, they call it now.
Okay.
So I bring it up mainly because a few weeks ago, there was a situation with Kevin Hart
Yes.
where he now is apologizing for like the millionth time for this joke that he made on his first, I think it was like one of his first stand-ups.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where he even dropped out of hosting the Oscars, I think it was.
Yeah. He's going against one of the dreams that he's had for a long time.
Yeah, so I wanted to see what your thoughts are about that.
Okay.
What in particular when it comes to comedians.
It's funny because people in my family would say that I'm very PC. Where I beg to differ. I mean, I
PC
think
in what sense?
they, sometimes people are like, you're white, why do you stand up for black community so much, or this or that, or you're always politically correct, quote unquote, air quotes, about we are one race. I hate when I hear, like, I guess in this sense where I hear like everybody's always talking about races, like there's different race, there's human race, right? We are one race. We come out as different colors, different categories of human. There's different characteristics that we all have. There's different strengths and weaknesses we all have as a race. But it's like there's a type of animal, there's birds, right? There's birds, there's mammals, right? There's all different types, but it falls into different categories. This is what I'm saying. That's where I'll get politically correct, where I'm saying, like, these are facts, right? These are facts of, boom, people, are being seen a certain way, and we got to change things like that. But I think that at the end of the day, also being a human race, we make mistakes. Sometimes we are not given all the answers, and that's the beauty about life. If you haven't realized it, you don't come out with everything. Like, sometimes you look at a kitten And you're like, oh, that's so cute. It knows how to use the bathroom already. Because instinctively it has that in its DNA. Humans are opposite. We have to learn so much out the gate. And if Kevin Hart came from anybody in his family that had homophobic tendencies or had homophobia, or they thought that, you know, making fun of somebody else's state or life or lifestyle or the way they were born, and how whatever way you want to see it, right? Because for every situation it's different. I don't think, especially if you've made sincere actions to apologize, sincere actions to clean your slate, people want to hold you to who you are. There's the beauty about evolution is evolving, and you're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to make mistakes. If you continue with the same tendencies, sure, you should be ashamed. Somebody should come around and tell you what you need to clean up about your act. But at the same time, come on. This, like he said, it's 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe he didn't even know how strongly it was affecting people. But he made a conscious effort to sincerely apologize. And for him to drop out, that's where you see the sincerity. It's not about the Oscars. It's about him showing that he was sincerely sorry. But some people just want to see you fail. They want to keep you in a certain place, and they're like, no, that's that person, because in the sense, God forbid somebody did that to you, right? God forbid somebody just held you accountable for who you are. Like, if I see, like, if you're not changing, I'm not proud of it. I'm usually like somebody like, listen, this person might be tricking somebody, but they up to the same old shit. You know what I'm saying? But if there's a person making a conscious effort to change and their actions speak louder than their words, or vice versa, you know, like, it's, you have to give sometimes people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, you know, that's who you are. If you're like, nope, you had your chance, which is your one chance,
Mm-hmm.
you fucked it up, that's on that person.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like our community as humans are like that. It's like, we live in such a judgment, like, where people are so sensitive. The people that are coming at him about their sensitivity, not getting a second chance, God forbid nobody gave them a second chance. And I think,
but I find that funny because, and the point I was trying to make is, he said this how long ago? 7, 8 years ago, maybe 10. And somebody had to dig up that from that long ago. You know what I'm saying? You didn't find anything recent. So what does that mean?
Misery loves company.
He's changed, right?
Yeah.
Or
but at the same time,
yeah. His act, you know what I'm saying?
No, he definitely cleaned up his act. I watched the interview with him and Ellen. And again, there's something instinctively, I think, within all of us when you know somebody's being sincere and when somebody's just doing it to say it.
Yeah.
To please the audience and get their way. And I think Kevin Hart, I don't know him personally again, but I think he was being sincere.
Do you think he should have apologized? That's my next question.
When you already apologize once, like, again, it's like some people are like,
as a comedian, do you think someone for making that joke should apologize?
It's a dangerous game, because him not apologizing could stop his income, could stop his career.
Yeah, but I mean, putting all that aside, should a person whose his intention is to make people laugh, who has no malicious intent behind what he's doing, should apologize?
Personally, I don't think so, because he made the first one. But see, people like, again, we can go into this, we could go way deeper. I'm not going to, but a lot of people would agree that it's like, okay, already he has strikes against him because he's a black male. Everything else, like, this is, you know, I watch other interviews on political correctness. I watch, you know, on different people's perspectives about tons of things, you know, and people are going to say, you know, like, it's almost like a slave mentality. He has to apologize to his masters. And these, even if other black people from the LGBT community are coming at him, you're doing the same thing that somebody's gonna eventually ask of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just like, I support most communities and all this and that, but I think when you're forced into a situation, a corner where you've done enough already, and just to make a bunch of people happy that aren't going to be happy at the end of the day, they're still going to be miserable with themselves, and that's why people dug this up.
Mm-hmm.
It's, again, this is why you see people like, go into depressions. Is why we don't have a Mac Miller and all this, because like, people don't understand a lot of what people give into this, what people have sacrificed to get on top, and then how people come at you, for, I'm not going to say a simple mistake. At first it was ignorant, but he learned from his lesson. Mm-hmm. He changed his ways. He did it probably for his family. It's the same thing with his wife. He's cheated, this and that. He is not a perfect person, 100%. And we could disagree with a lot of his values. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like those same people that came at him probably reposted a meme from Kevin Hart or laughed at one of his comedy acts. And like, again, I think it gets to my point. There's no loyalty in this game. I think there's not a lot of loyalty in general amongst a lot of people. It's just disheartening. I think at the end of the day, it's disheartening that you always want done to others as you want done to yourself, but nobody's showing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the Twitter fingers and all that is all the sensitive people that would wish, like if they were going to jail or they were on trial for something that they didn't really do, people would probably, they would want people to be like forgiving and this and that, but people are like, nope, throw them in. People, it's like we live, who else said it? Maybe it was Joe Rogan. I don't know, but somebody said like we, on a mentality state as human beings, we haven't changed much. We're still here like, watching people's heads get cut off and we're applauding and all that. It's just in a different way. We're still fucking animals.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to certain things, I feel as human beings, especially as like a Latin male, I've had to unlearn certain things that were taught to me.
Okay.
Right. So as a Latin male, you learn at a young age, stare a hole through this girl's ass because it looks nice, or whistle at her, or honk your horn as you pass by her and stuff like that. And, even at that age, it made me feel uncomfortable when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, when you have all your older cousins or maybe an uncle, or not looking back at it, a weird uncle.
Yeah, I feel like
trying to teach you these things.
Those innocence or intuitions tell you it's wrong from the jump.
Right. Me as a person, I felt uncomfortable back then. Maybe because I had like that social anxiety to me, and I wasn't that kind of person to just like
do that
10 or 11 years old, like whistling at somebody. You know what I'm saying? And then, growing older and older, I've never been that type of guy to, and what's the point? You're passing by this girl and you're like honking your horn at her. Like, what's the fucking point? No. You think she's going to magically like pop into your car? Like, it makes no sense. And, that just brings me back to the thing that I said is just, as human beings, we're taught certain things. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes it's good. And then we have to reprogram our brains to do what we feel is right.
Yeah.
And then you have the PC police, now that everybody has a fucking opinion about everything, no matter what you do, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So, it was just a question I thought, because I feel like especially when it comes to comedians, like a comedian's intent is to make people laugh. Yeah. Sometimes they'll cross that boundary or they'll cross that time to just make people laugh. But
there's a lot of comedy in discomfort.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So if it crosses a line and the comedian's intent is not to offend anyone, like offend somebody to make them laugh, I'm okay with. But when it comes to like I don't know if you remember this a couple years ago. That dude from Seinfeld that played, I think Kramer,
Mm-hmm.
when he was doing stand up, and I think a black person was heckling him, and then he just started dropping n bombs, n bombs, n
Yeah.
bombs, n bombs the whole time. That I don't like.
No. I think that like literally again on a psychological level as humans, we're either we literally hypocritical by nature or by choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us always want to work the system or work the ideology of this how we're perceived, the perfection shit, to work to our best advantage, you know. And a lot of the time, again, that sensitivity to all of us is like you start out your life as a child where I feel like it's a perfectly clean ripped piece of paper, you know, from a notebook. It's like a perfect piece of paper. And, you know, your first situation, or maybe somebody throws dirt on your name and that ruins your other relationship with other friends or family. Guess what? Paper's crumbled now. And you're over here like trying to iron.
What does it sound like again?
All right. So you're here. Now you got this crumpled piece of paper when you wanted the world to see your clean piece of paper, right? You're waiting that day to present yourself. But then it's like crumple, this and this and that. And now you're a ball from a flat piece of this, and you're looking at yourself, you're like, how did it get here? All these different things. But those imperfections, all those things, if somebody can't come around and be like, okay, this from a piece of paper to now we can throw this ball around, or it's going to go more places than it was flat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the best.
You lost me, bro.
Yeah, okay. But either way, what I'm saying is like people want to be seen as a perfect clean piece of paper, but at the end, all the things we go through, we all get crumpled.
I see.
And, you know, like people are like, oh, that's ugly, I can't use it now. It's like, okay.
And then that person comes around, takes the ball, throws it in a trash can, and goes, Kobe.
Exactly. So your whole life, you're like, I worked hard to keep it clean. But then somebody want to come around, crumple your piece of paper, and now you're just like, okay, now I can't feed my kids. Now I don't have a career, this or that. And everybody keeps living their life. You know what I'm saying? And again, we want the same respect. We want everybody to be a little bit forgivable, you know, to forgive or forget on our end when it happens to us. But nobody's showing that on the other end. And I think, you know, we have crazy technology out. Our fashion's dope, you know, like people have perfected makeup techniques and people have perfected everything else but ourselves on how we treat others.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, all these other things are like, no, we're doing great, you know, we're evolving. But at the same time, like if we don't get our shit together on a humane level or a spiritual level or all these other things, like, again, this is why we're like, oh man, why is there chaos in the world? Why does everybody hate each other? Because it's the same thing. Look how everybody's treating each other, man. You have no forgiveness. You have nothing. Like, again, it all adds up. So you can't ask questions when you're adding to the flame to the fuel, you know, or fuel to the fire.
Okay, this got mad depressing.
But it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like again, my dad always says this. He's like, I sound like a pessimist because I'm an optimist with experience. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth of the situation. If you go through life, see how you said it's mad depressing? That's what also, it kind of throws people off to even approaching the situation. So that's why you have to, above all, it's always important that you, if you have good values, if you have good intentions, that you make it above all. Because you could be Hitler. It was one guy. And he got everybody's idea to go, a large part of his community to believe in him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the right intentions. Or maybe in his head it was the right intentions, but we know at the end of the day he was just like getting rid of people. You know what I'm saying? Just killing people for nothing. But if you can do the same thing on a positive aspect as an artist, as an influencer, a real influencer, and I say that because a lot of people out here influencing wrong shit. But if you're a real influencer, if you preach at your church, if you're an atheist but you still have a good heart, like, it doesn't matter if you know you're doing the right thing, because we all have this intuition as humans. If you're doing the right thing, you will see that, and you can be that missing link or the atom to this whole nucleus. I mean, you could be the nucleus to this whole atom, and that's what I think is most important. So maybe that's on a better, lighter note, but you know what I'm saying? There you go.
Anyway. So
don't disregard it. You know it's true.
No, it's just you just go on for like 10 minutes straight, and it's just like, okay, this went somewhere else. But we started off with Kevin Hart and ended up talking about Hitler. So
sometimes it be like that.
So I guess let's just wrap things up, I guess.
Cool.
We do need more questions, obviously, because we run out of ideas and stuff, to things to talk about. So maybe the next podcast, what we'll do is we'll do the video breakdown that we've been talking about the last
Don't
few
be
episodes.
Shy. Don't be arrogant. Either or.
Just send us questions, man.
I
always post it on my Instagram. I see 250 to like 300 views and get one question asked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's just so we can guide you guys down the right. It could be questions about anything. It could be questions about how do you cook a meatloaf? I don't know. We'll look it up. We'll Google it right on the spot, and we'll teach you how to do it.
That's mad, man.
Maybe we'll do an episode where we cook a damn meatloaf. I don't know. So just give us any questions. It could be about any aspect in life. It could be about anything, absolutely anything. As we still get organized and stuff. We're only 4 episodes in, but we do have the equipment here.
Subscribe. We might be making that meatloaf. I'm looking forward to it now.
So subscribe, like, comment, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and I just want to leave on a positive note, and just tell certain people that are in my life to take risks.
Yes.
It's okay to be afraid.
It's okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fail. But you need to try. And I've been preaching this to a couple people, and I had a conversation with 2 separate people that want to do certain things, and they're just they have the content and they're just afraid to post it. And I'm like, if you're that afraid, give it to me and I'll post it for you. Like, just let it fly. And I don't know, bird box it, put blindfolds on. That's all you have to do, is let the content go up there, put the blindfolds on, look at the positive feedback, use it as constructive criticism of the negative comments, ignore the ones that are purposely just trying to bring you down, and just go for it, man. I can't emphasize enough to anybody that's creative, that wants to put something out, that wants to put something together, and is too afraid to put it out there because of the feedback they might get. It just hurts me.
Again,
Because I'm like, we do this on a daily basis, and we get constant feedback, and we get haters on the side where they may not be commenting, or they may be commenting, and we just don't give a shit.
Yeah, you can't control it all. You can't, like, don't disregard your dopeness. There's a couple people too that like, yo, is this dope? Or I'm like, there's a reason why I mess with you on an artistic level. Like, you're dope. Like, we're always gonna second guess ourselves as artists, or just people in general. But Jay says it a lot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Shoot.
Yeah, like, like, if it fails, it fails. Whatever, just keep going. Like, and there's always
learn from it. That's the most important thing.
Learn from it. So
yeah. So
with that said, like usual, let the intro drop in the outro. Let's go. Wow.